What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Patriot Specialized. On today's episode, you're going to see us getting rid of that, finally getting that combine off the trailer in Quincy, Illinois, and we're going to run up to Iowa and pick up a John Deere 9RT 590 tractor. So stick around. Got a little bit of trouble in this one. Be right back.
Right across these plains and prairies, Rocky Mountain highs, fade off into the distance like ghost riders in the sky. Black smoke and white line, still horses.
What's going on, guys? Made it to delivery. We are in Quincy, Illinois at the Quincy Tractor. I think it's what it's called, Quincy Tractor. They are prepping this thing, put tires on right now. These guys, as soon as I pulled in, they were standing right there waiting on me, so it's a beautiful thing. Hopefully we'll be out of here pretty quick. But see what happens. What's going on, guys? So it's Friday morning. Obviously what you just saw, we are at the shop. Friday morning. Wasn't planning on working today. Unfortunately, some things happened. We're going to talk about that here in a minute, that led me to be here today. But Ghost is in the shop getting the service done. We're just changing oil real quick, doing a grease real fast, getting it done, and then we're going to get this load back to the house so I can make it Monday morning. But I figured I had not had a chance. Obviously, I didn't get a chance to film Wednesday when I was loading, so I figured I'd shoot the load now, show you guys what I got. The shipper that I came from, they don't allow any filming at all, so we had to, I couldn't film while I was there, so, and it was kind of a crappy day. Wednesday, it was raining, and then I got in a little bit of trouble, so we're going to talk about that here in a second. But here we go. I'm going to show you the load real fast. There's our baby right there. It's a John Deere 9RT 590. That 9RT, it's a 9 series model. The R is for rubber and the T is for tracked. So it's a 9 rubber tracked. The 590 that's up there, believe this or not, that tractor has 590 horsepower. That tractor right there, that thing has more horsepower than the truck that's pulling it at this point. So it's pretty crazy the horsepower they put in this thing, but I guess all the implements that these things have to run, I guess it makes complete sense that they need to have that kind of horsepower. So, all right, what we got going on here, this is our girl, and she weighs, what are we coming at, 52,000 pounds. Just under 52 is what it's scaled in at. What I got for securement going on, obviously, this thing is 11.5 foot wide. They said it was 12'4" tall, but it's not. There must be a light or something up there. They're counting for the light, and it's not on there right now. So it's not quite as tall as they thought it would be, which worked out great for me because we ended up legal height. But we're 11.6 wide. It's about 22 feet long. We got it shoved all the way back just like we always do. But that's our dimensions. Obviously, not obviously, but with the with the rubber tracks, you don't have a ton of support on those tracks. And generally, the general rule that we kind of live by with these tracks here is if you can get more than half of the track on the trailer, you don't require the outriggers. Like, that's kind of the general rule. That's kind of what gives us an idea of whether we want to put the outriggers out or not. So usually if you get half the track where it's on the trailer altogether and you get that center roller up on the trailer and being supported, then you don't really need the outriggers. With this particular load, we were kind of close, but you can see that half that track is outside on the outrigger. So we ended up needing the outriggers for this one. So we'll talk about that. What I did there, I set my outriggers out on both sides, and I just gave 16 feet of outriggers, started at the back, came forward. I knew that's where it was going to be. So we put the outriggers out 16 foot forward from the back, and we just put it on there. What we got for securement on this thing, I got 2 chains here hooked in the center there. John Deere does not like you to go all the way through and come back. It scratches up a lot of the material in the middle. They don't mind you hooking and coming right back like this, but they don't like you to go all the way across. So I did 2 chains hooked up there, come right down to the edge of the trailer, got them hooked there. Same exact thing over there. That gives us basically 2 chains worth of securement right there. We got our flags on the outside. I used my magnet flag back here because it got a really good bite on this. Technically this rubber right here is the furthest outermost portion of load, but this worked out really good, and it covers our bases. No DOT is going to bother us about that. And then we got our flag back here. We used a bungee flag and got it on the outside of the track. This is probably the most important one. Most of this trip is we're running on the highway, so most of the traffic will be coming from behind us. So the important one to mark really is the one where the traffic's coming from. That one you want to make sure you get it on the outside portion of load, so that those motorists traveling next to you, they know where the outside of the edge of that load is. So we accomplished that with this one. Most of our traffic is coming from the rear. Most of our routing's all highway. So we do have a little bit to worry about where we're coming from the front, but hopefully, you know, they're coming at me, they see that thing. So what we got going here on the back is they put these fancy schmancy tie down cutouts in here. Unfortunately, with the 3/8 chain, I couldn't use them. These are too big. I'm not even sure a 1/2 inch would fit on that. That frame is pretty thick, but so I ended up just tying around the cutout at the bottom, coming right to the edge of the trailer. Then these ones, this material is a little bit thinner, so we were able to get the hook to go in there. So we got that tied down the back with another 2 chains here, another 2 chains on the other side, and then there's one down there in the middle that you can't see it. I can't really get to it. That it's pulling, it's going all the way across and pulling backwards on it to hold it, just in case I got to slam on the brakes. So basically what we got here is 5 chains of securement, 6,500 pounds each, holding in 52,000 pounds, which it requires 26,000 pounds of securement. So we are 1 chain good on that. So that's our baby right there. I'll take a walk around the other side. As you can see, trailer's dropped here at the shop. There's Ghost right there waiting to go in the door, get the service done on it. Here's what we look like from this side. Pretty good looking load. Now, the cool part about this thing is, I don't know if it's cool or not, but it's going to the Port of Baltimore. It came out of Iowa. It's going to the Port of Baltimore. and I managed to get a reload booked right out of Baltimore. So that worked out really well. I don't know how this sun's gonna. Well, that's it. That's what we got. We got our flags and signs on this side, flags and signs on the back. That's what we got on this one, and I'm going to talk about how I ended up here at the shop today, because that's an interesting one. We'll be right back. All right, so real quick, I'm going to give you a short, real fast description of how I ended up here. I was planning on taking this load all the way to the house, and what happened on my permit route on Route 20 in Ohio on Wednesday, I don't know if you guys know or not, but curfew on holidays, we talked about it on the channel a few times, there's curfews on holidays. So this particular holiday, the curfew was at noon on Wednesday. We had to be off the road, and it would follow through until this morning, Friday morning the 5th at sunrise. So, which surprised me. Normally it runs all the way through the weekend, but this particular one, it was until Friday at sunrise. So what had happened there is I was on Route 20 in Ohio, and I'm cruising along, and I ended up coming into Norwalk, and there's a set of just after Norwalk, there's a set of train tracks, and there was a train blocking the road. And what happened there, I don't know what happened with the train, but it had been there for about 4 hours total. It was there about 4 hours. I caught the last hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes of it where I was sitting there. So I had plenty of time under my trip planning to get where I needed to be. Unfortunately, because of that train holding me up for an hour and a half, I wasn't able to get to the shop where I wanted to get to within the 12 o'clock curfew. So there wasn't anywhere from where that train was, there wasn't anywhere that I could stop and drop the trailer or whatever, leave the trailer there, or there was nowhere for me to go. So I had no choice but to start heading toward the yard. And once that train let us loose, to bring it to the yard. And unfortunately, right on, I was almost to 480, which is very close to our yard. I think I was about 20 minutes away from our yard. And there was a state trooper sitting on the side of the road with a sheriff, and they waved me down, had me pull over. And I got pulled over, and the sheriff came up and he said, you know why we pulled you? And I said, of course I do. I know this is what happened. This is where I was. And he said, yeah, we heard about this train all day. I said, so you know about it? And he said, yeah. And then he didn't take my license. He said, I'll be right back. And he didn't take my license with me. So I thought, okay, he's probably understanding about this train. They know about the train. We're probably gonna, he's not gonna do anything about this. He's gonna let me go. So in the interest of, getting me off the road as quick as possible, because the bottom line is he's not going to make me stay on the side of the road where it's unsafe. He's going to have me go somewhere, and I still have to travel. So I don't think he wanted to spend a lot of time with me there, because I still got to get off the road before traffic gets too bad. So what ended up happening there is he went back to his cruiser. I don't know what he was doing. He didn't take my driver's license with him, so I don't know that he was planning on writing me a ticket, but he come running back up to the cruiser, and I'll show you a little tiny clip of that. That's about the only footage I got from this whole thing. He came running back up to the truck, and it turns out that on my lucky day, I guess, it turns out that there was a driver who fled a traffic stop on the turnpike. So this sheriff had to go. They're after this guy, whoever this problem is, and whoever you are, thanks, man. You got me out of a ticket. So worked out great for me. He said, go ahead and go, get it to the yard, get it parked. It's your lucky day. And I said, I appreciate that. And off I am. And that's how I ended up here.